This is Margrit and I'm Russ, and we're from Nikela. We travel Africa in our old Land Rover, and one of the fascinating things that we come across are lions.
Everybody likes lions.
We especially like the thrill of getting close and the fear that is associated with that.
So we can't see very well, but she's just sitting here panting.
Just the sightings and the people doing great things for them. It's a fascinating part of our journey, and we'd like to introduce some of that to you.
The lion is an apex predator. It is the apex predator.
Okay, well, lions. Gosh, what do you think of first when you think of some of the experiences we've had with lions?
Well, I think of the ones that we don't. The one that we don't have a video of that we won't talk much about, but that we were scared to death because we were within 5 feet of a ferocious female lion who had been snared. And she looked at us and reacted to us as if we were the complete cause of all of that.
Oh, yeah, and she just roared at us. I don't think I've ever gotten so scared in all my life.
I'm still trying to put my heart back in the chest after that one. But, anyway, we need to talk about some that...
Oh, some good things, I think.
Which one did you think of?
Which one did I think of? I guess I think of some of the ones where we had the privilege of spending some time with Kevin Richardson and seeing some of his beautiful lions. Now, Kevin is somewhat controversial because he keeps lions and he interacts with them. But the lions that are with him, that's their forever home. They're never going to be able to return to the wild. So
he's bonded to them, but no one else has.
Well, the other thing when I think of lions is sitting at that water hole when we just heard the lions, and then they came in. This is in Natasha Pan, but then in the morning when the lion came in and almost got that kudu, and then just walked around the water hole roaring, shouting, he was the king of the beasts.
Somebody will put him in his place, I'm sure.
No, I'm sure. But he was a cool lion. And then I think another one was also in Natasha Pan. We're sitting at this pan, which is a water hole, and wondering why the gemsbok and the springbok weren't going in to drink. And we were paying so much attention to the springbok and the gemsbok, especially the gemsbok because they were dueling. And then afterwards we noticed that there was a lioness leaving.
So our first lioness. Wonder where the others are.
And what we noticed is, as we reviewed the video, we noticed in the corner of the video there were two other lions, so she was walking towards her pride.
Yeah, and then the springbok, they just kind of parted, but they didn't really worry too much about her anymore, because obviously she had a really fat tummy.
Yeah, she's oh, my favorite, it was when we got to track those lions, remember?
Oh, you mean the ones that woke us up in the middle of the night?
Yeah. What was it, 7 times we were woken up during the night with major roaring sessions going on.
He would count, he's an engineer.
Oh yeah, data,
I just remember waking up and gripping him and saying, don't move, don't even move a muscle.
The first time I was ready to jump up and get my recorder so we could at least get the noise, and she would grab me and I couldn't move. I was in this death grip.
Yes, definitely. I wasn't going to let him move. Don't move. Because you see, this was the second time this had happened. We were also once in a tent, camped in Okawanga. And we heard the lions that night. It was just the day before his birthday. And you wake up the next morning and you sit up and going, I'm alive!
That was the scariest time. Because we had just seen, did you just say? We had just seen a pride.
Oh, yeah,
that
at a kill.
At a kill of a water buffalo. Right. And we were in striking distance from that, and it could very well have been the same.
The same pride that came through. Well,
we weren't used to how close things were and all.
That's right. Well, we did. I think the thing was that we talked to the ranger the next morning. He says, "Well, they just had a kill. They wouldn't have done anything to you." But in the middle of the night, it sure didn't feel that way.
Yeah, half asleep and just go.
But anyway, back to the tracking story. Then the next morning we went to track them.
Yeah, we got up at, well, the last roaring session was about 4:30, and we're supposed to get up was it 5 or quarter to 5? Anyway, we're supposed to get up shortly thereafter, and we're thinking...
He remembers numbers, but not times very well. It was 4 o'clock when we heard the last roar.
Oh, it was 4:30.
And it was quarter to 5 when we were supposed to get up.
I don't think so, but anyway.
It is? It is?
No, it was anyway.
I had remember, I had the
I
alarm clock on
will be a
mine,
dutiful husband and default to you.
Thank you. It was 4 o'clock.
But we were wondering, being in this situation, okay, the drum beat, so we could go to the place where we're supposed to meet, so we could go have our quick breakfast and go tracking.
I can barely see you.
You can barely see
And
me.
we're
You were
thinking,
off to go
there's
look for
lines up
tracks.
there. You're kidding, we're going to go out. Anyway, slowly all of us out of our tent structures went in there and immediately went out to track lions. And it was so awesome. We got to see prints in the muds, I'm talking prints in the muds, and we got to see a place where
they'd been running.
Where one had been laying down.
So where was the tail again?
Right here.
This line. You see?
No.
And it come to find out there were 3 lions, 2 from a local pride who had come over the hill that night, and another one from somewhere else. Did I say 2? No, I said 3, 2 from the one pride. And then the third one was coming in and challenging territory. So that was these lions roaring all night. Now, how do you tell, because the lion, when he roars, fills up the valley with his roar, how do you tell if he's really close? Well, they roar.
That's pretty good.
But then, at the end, they go, ruff, 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 usually. And if you can hear that, then you know they're close. Well, we knew they were close because we heard that every time. And then, in the morning when the tracks were found, I can't remember how close we were, but we were within...
They were within about 20 meters.
20 meters, 30 meters, maybe something like that,
of
where
our
we were.
tent.
Yeah.
Right,
So that was fascinating. Interesting, we didn't see one lion, but the experience was amazing.
Right, so you don't have to see lion, but you can hear them and see their
We've
hug
seen them
marks.
before. Yeah.
Another one that I think of the
Okay.
lion was when we were in Hwangi, however you pronounce that,
Hwangi.
in Zimbabwe.
Winky.
And we drove to
It's probably HW, it's probably one of those click things.
Hwangi.
Wink.
Anyway,
somebody will correct us.
we were
Tell us what it is.
We were in the national park where Cecil the lion had been lured out of and shot.
Yeah.
But we were in that game reserve, and we were on our way out, and there's a water hole. And we didn't see anything, and I saw something at the water's edge. I thought it was just a log, and we parked and looked over there, and there was a bush that covered up the part that had the brown spot. And I didn't say anything because I have Russ stop so many times and move
Poor
the Land
Landy,
Rover so many
wearing
times.
out the reverse.
Because that's right, to go back. Oh, just go back a little. Oh, just stop here a little bit. Just back a little further. So we could see properly. So I didn't say anything. And then suddenly, as we're about to drive off, we see this lion coming up from the water hole. So I review back in my mind.
Fat lion.
I review back in my mind. I'm going, that has got to have been a lion. That lion, very lion we're watching now, crouching at the water hole, drinking.
Yeah, we could have had some marvelous footage
We
there.
could have. But anyway, we did catch him walking off.
Yeah,
in front of
and
us
we were.
on the track.
We thought we wouldn't see him, but we paralleled him for a bit and took a quick turn off to get a little closer to him, and sure enough, he ended up right on the same dirt track that we
And
were.
watching. So he was cool.
And then he was just walking along, and I hit a branch.
Look around
And
and
he spun around like, "Who's that?" Whoa. But then he was too fat, too full to do anything about it.
no, we just followed him. Yeah, obviously he'd eaten. So those were some lion experiences.
Any other lion experiences?
You know, the very best place to see a lion is in the wild.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are people who don't have opportunities to see them in the wilds, because that's, you know, after all, that's where you want to keep them. But there are a few places that, just like Kevin Richardson, there's also a place called Jokani in South Africa with Jörg and Karen, and they do a marvelous job.
Big cat sanctuary.
Right, they're a big cat sanctuary, and they provide a safe haven for lions and other big cats who have been rescued from various situations, from the canned hunting industry, from circuses, from zoos, and they basically provide a forever home for them as well. And Jörg is the first to say that we need to keep the lions wild because the place to see them is not in places like his. However, for many, it is the only place that they will ever have the opportunity of seeing a lion.
And it was one of the first places that we went to actually experience lions up close. We went by this female lioness who was right against the fence, and catches my eye, and she starts growling. I'm thinking, what's going on? She's growling, and Jörg's kind of slowing her down a little bit, calming her down. And all of a sudden, she jumps at the fence at me. Scared us all. Come to find out, he says, "Oh, that clipboard you have in your hand, she thinks you're the vet." I guess.
Obviously she didn't like the vet coming to visit. Yeah. But Jokani is a wonderful place. They do a lot of good work with education as well as
Being a sanctuary
being
for
a sanctuary for these animals.
For these animals that don't have any place else to go. So.
And there's other places like that. There's Lion Rock too. That's in the heart of canned hunting country in the Free State.
Yeah.
They also bring in cats, the big cats, from all over the world to provide them a safe haven.
Yeah. We got to see the one who had actually killed a guard at one place, and they had
the white lioness. Yes.
They were able to. Usually, when that happens, they immediately put the animal down. But they got a hold of whoever this was and negotiated to take the lioness. Yeah, a lot of people doing a lot of amazing things for cats, and what's really cool is we get to go find these people doing good things for lions as well as.
That's right, like Marnus, who we just really love what Marnus is doing, because he's doing the ideal, and that is trying to protect the wild lions in their habitat.
Mostly from the farmers who are encroaching on that habitat. And of course the farmers just want to shoot or poison them to get them out of the way. Marnus is trying to help with this human-wildlife conflict so that they can coexist. And what can they do to try and coexist? Fascinating what he's doing.
Right.
And he's being successful in many ways.
Right, in keeping the lions away from the livestock. And anyway, that's going to be a whole another story.
That's and that's one thing we're going to focus on this year, is to help him, because he's saving lions one lion
at a time, and wild lions and keeping them in the wilds.
Yeah.
Which is where they need to be. Again, number one thing, lions need to be protected in the wilds, because that's where they thrive, and that's where they need to be.